Hey guys, welcome to another video of Fireball Sorcerer in Diablo 4 Season 5, and in this one we'll be testing how powerful this build is with Uber Uniques or Mythic Uniques, that's what they call them now. So after 113 runs I finally got my 5 Uber Uniques or Mythic Uniques to drop, and I managed to craft both the Harlequin's Crest and the Ring of Starless Skies. And boy oh boy is this build unkillable with the 2 Mythic Uniques. The reason why that is mostly because of Harlequin Crests, as it gives you obscene amount of cooldown reduction. It's 20% on baseline, and if you masterwork it 3 times and hit cooldown reduction all 3 times, it gives you almost 45% or something like that. It's completely insane. And then you have cooldown reduction on your amulet, and you're easily almost capped on cooldown reduction, and using things like ice armor and flame shield and teleport. As you can see in this clip, it's a tier 7 of the Infernal Hordes. This build is rarely in danger of dying, or almost never, because cooldowns of your defensive abilities are so short. The build is also quite amazing in clearing waves. As you can see here, I have little problems dealing with the waves of the enemies, but the build actually has one major weakness as of right now, and this is something I'm trying to figure out what the best way to surpass this, and that weakness is the boss damage. As you will see near the end of this Infernal Hordes tier 7 run, it took me like 3 minutes to kill the High Council or the Fell Council boss fight, and while that's something that's okay for many players, I do think that the boss damage should be quite higher, honestly, and I have few things in mind that I want to test to see how to improve this. But as of right now, because I haven't tested the things I want to test and how to improve the single target damage, I will be leaving the build link with the new updated items in the video description below, and you can see my gear and the stats I'm using near the end of this video. And while my gear now is pretty good, I only have 3 fully masterworked items, and those are the staff I have, the Ring of Starless Skies, and the Harlequin Crest. These are 3 of my best items, and I know that when I get greater affixes on the Fireball gloves, the gloves of the Illuminator, my DPS will skyrocket, because I will get much more, and I masterwork it, I will get much more attack speed and like 5 more levels of Fireball, which is quite amazing. Crit chance is not that important, because using Isus Heirloom and in this build, and because now Ring of Starless Sky is giving good amount of crit chance, and they increased the crit chance that Gloves of the Illuminator have, and they also buffed Isus Heirloom Boots passive. You're almost always capped easily on crit chances. Every single of my Fireball casts, even now, is a critical hit. Now for this run of Infernal Horde specifically, as you'll see near the end of the video, I scored only below 400 ether, which is really unimpressive, and that's because the boons they offered me, most of them were complete garbage, or I selected the wrong ones. All of them except the Hellborn Spawn, which was amazing. But on the very next run I scored over 700 ether, so just so you guys know that it's not the build. This build can consistently score really high ether scores. It's just this run was quite unlucky for me. With the current setup I can also clear Pit 110 quite comfortably without dying, so survivability isn't really the issue, and I can reach the boss within 3 to 4 minutes maximum, while the boss itself takes like 3, 4, 5 minutes sometimes, depending on the boss. So again, the same problem as I'm running with the Fell Council in the Infernal Hordes, that the boss damage is kind of on the low end, and that's something I'm striving to fix. For starters, I updated the build because the build has no issues with survivability. I removed all the red gems, the rubies, from my armor slots and replaced them with the yellow gems that give me bonus intellect, which did boost my damage, but it was still not enough to really compensate for lacking boss damage. It's not still as high as I would want it to be. You can find the updated build in the link I left in the video description below, or you can join the Discord in the Diablo 4 official Discord, where we discuss this build, and I'm quite active there, and more people are joining, and I'll be there to help you if you have any questions, or you can leave me the questions in the video comments down below, whatever you feel like. Now the next thing I want to do, or the few next things I want to do, is because now that the unique items have been reworked and I'm getting much more resistances and much more intellect than from the previous season, my Paragon board might not be the most optimal, as I can now sacrifice those max life and resist all Paragon nodes and replace them with something that will give me bonus damage. I'll have to figure that out, and when I do, and I'll share it, update it here, and I'll share it on the Discord thread where we discuss this specific build. I also plan to do a few other things. I want to test the unstable currents variant because we get a lot of bonus attack speed with unstable currents, and I also want to test, but that will probably be like later on when I get that kind of item. I want to test something with glass cannon and devouring blaze amulet, because this build does not have survivability issues. I think that we can afford to run something like greater affix, attack speed, glass cannon and devouring blaze amulet, which I currently do not have. I do not even have devouring blaze on my amulet. I couldn't roll it at all. I wasted like 100, 200, 300 million rerolling it, and I couldn't get the devouring blaze. You'll see my gear near the end of the video. So those are some things that I plan to do, and I want to give you a heads up, guys. But as always, I will update the build as soon as I find something that I think it's worthwhile, and I will share it with you guys like I did everything so far. That's pretty much it I wanted to cover in this video. You can find the updated build in the video description below, and you can enjoy the rest of this Infernal Hordes tier 7 run, and I'll see you guys next time with another Fireball build update. Take care.
appreciate.